Power target trades, power trigger trade. All right, people, I got another plan here for Apple. First, I'm going to explain about the Apple short-term plan, and then FedEx and Netflix. I'm going to group these plans together in this video. First, we'll start off with Apple, and we're going to talk about the options for everything, okay? But it's going to sequence. We're going to first go with Apple, then FedEx, then Netflix. Okay, so first up here, people, it's Apple, okay? Now, Apple is more of a reversal setup, okay? It's not going to be like a FedEx or an NFLX. Those are two different types of type of breakout. Those are more of breakout plans. Apple is more of a reversal plan. Okay, so the weight is a little different, so understand it's not the same type of trade, but it's something that I like, might get into. I'm also going to be talking about Google GOOG, but not in this plan. I'm going to be posting a separate plan for that. These are the stocks I'm going to be watching for next week. So let's talk about Apple. Apple is set up to get back up towards 155 to 157. Okay, this is a good possibility. And the October 06 152.5 calls are great to use. Now, I will explain inside the video my reasons and what is the trigger area inside the video. That's right, people. So one of the reasons is, like I said, this is a reversal play. There's a lot of factors. Again, one of the factors is that we tested a lot of levels very quickly. But one of the levels we bounced it very in a good weight. Okay. However, it doesn't really matter right now. The question is, some people say, "Will it want to test lower?" It's very possible Apple could test lower. However, my belief is this: if Apple can confirm my plan, the one I'm going to explain right now, there's a good chance that they're going to want to try to bring it back up there. It doesn't mean that the falling of Apple is finished, but what I'm thinking is there's going to be a bit of relief of pressure. They're going to send it back up, and it's going to chop around still, right? This is the kind of trade, so you want to make sure you take profits, okay? It's not going to be like a breakout trade like a FedEx, which I think is one of the best ones to really focus on, okay? I'm going to talk about FedEx, okay, after. And, of course, Netflix as well, but FedEx better than anything. FedEx, if you ask me, the two superstars that I really like are FedEx and Google. But anyways, people, and I know Apple could do as well, but just keep in mind, right, there's just those, I'm looking for the best stocks to enter. And these all have possibilities, no matter which can confirm, right? So, first, for example, for Apple to confirm, we're going to want this to break above 153. Okay, I'm changing it to 153 area. Okay, and if it can break above 153, we're going to want to engage with the October 06 152.5 calls. You want to use that as okay. So we're going to go talk about the options later, but that's the instructions of Apple. So pay attention to the video, and we're now going to go talk about FedEx. All right, people, so here we have a plan here for FedEx. FedEx is set up to test 230 to 235. The October 20, 222.5 calls could be used. That's right, people. So FedEx needs to break above. Now, I will explain the facts inside the video, but the first key will be 21.5. Okay, but let's talk about that, though. I will explain what must happen at that point inside the video. So let's talk about the 221.5. All right, so before we try to engage at 221.5, what we're going to want is we're going to want at least 650K as we smash through 221.5, okay? And of course, if that volume isn't there, okay, as we're above 221.5, we're going to watch for some basing above 221.5 and look for power through 222 to even 223. The key is this 221.5 to 223 area is going to be key. And if we get the right volume through 221.5, like I said, explain 650K, automatically engage. We're going to automatically engage in these options. If they do not, if we get above 221.5 and the volume isn't there, we're going to watch for some basing above that and look for power towards 222, 222.5, and so on and so forth, right? It'll become very clear that it's strong as we base above. First of all, it has to get above that, right? And then we're going to engage with those October 20, 225.5 calls. So now we're going to go talk about Netflix. All right, people. So here we're going to be talking about Netflix. Now, Netflix is set up to test 194 to 198. The September 29 190 calls could be used. Now, let me talk about Netflix. First of all, this is a stock I believe it can go. Now, the key is this. How does it hold above 187, sorry, 185.77? And can we break above what I'm going to explain in the video? Because if not, this could need quite time. But it's set up. Really, this stock is set up to go and test these levels. Because I think this stock, big picture, I think it's going to go much higher. I think they're setting this up to go to 205, in the 200s. But I think they're going to phase it, and they're going to take it into phase one at this level. I mean, for all we know, we break out even better. But the key is it must break out properly. You know what? They made it look like there was a lot of strength. I like the way it closed on Friday. But it broke below my 187 support, so I exited this for small losses, okay, from gains, giving this the benefit of a doubt. This is how it is when you're trying to catch big gains. It was one of those things. Now, I also talked about a safer entry, so let's talk about the safer entry. Now, this is the thing about Netflix. One thing I tell you, volume and price power is king. That's where the real moves. Now, the volume wasn't the best, okay? But it was good, and it was a profitable trade from where I entered, okay? And it really looked good, Netflix. To me, alignment, it's there. Regardless of there's resistance over there, they can bust this out. Because a lot of people are thinking the same way, right? Just like, listen, NVDA, I guarantee you a lot of people didn't expect that big move that it made. So don't judge, listen when I tell you, don't assume. One of the lessons I want to teach people is you don't assume. When you assume, you miss. Remember, when you assume shit, you miss shit, okay? You miss stuff, I should say, okay? When you assume anything, you miss things. Please, trust me on this, people. It's about structuring a plan if you want to catch gains. And you're going to lose money sometimes trying to do the right things. Okay. Now, if this can't confirm, we leave it alone. Netflix, what I want to see, we bust above 190. We want at least 1 million on a 10-minute chart. Boom, you want to enter this without thinking. However, if we don't get the volume, watch for some basing above there and look for power through 191.5. I want to see the right action. I'm not going to bother with Netflix if we don't get it at this point in time. One stock that I haven't mentioned that I really rather focus on, I've been doing really well, is with the Google or Google L. Well, this time Google. I'm going to be making a plan for that. Now let's go talk now, people. Let's go look at the options for Apple. We're going to talk about the options for FedEx and Netflix. All right. So first off, we're going to talk about Apple. As you can see, September 22nd, we closed at 151.89. Here the October 06, and these are the 152 calls. Now I like these because, like I explained before in my other video, that these are an offbeat type of options. Okay, so what I mean is that usually October, usually the monthlies will trade or the weeklies trade well, but this is kind of a little, these are trading really well. So there's a lot of potential here. It's unusual. Also, the put call ratio is more in line. I looked at the October to 20, and it's more in line. But like I said, Apple's still going to be in a choppy phase. It's not just going to just magically run up, okay, like a lot of people are saying. But I do think we can get a good bounce, and if we can simply get to the 155 to 157 area, you can. There's a possibility to double your money in the options, okay? Especially these ones here on confirmation. Of course, these will cost a little bit more than this, right? You're looking at maybe an average of could be 230 between 230 to 260, depending if it can confirm, right? I'm just giving it an estimation if we could confirm to next week right away out of the gate. That's the possibility. Remember, you want to take profits. This isn't like a breakout stock like a FedEx. If you want a stock we're going to talk about FedEx now, but FedEx is a way better setup in terms of it. That's a breakout stock, okay, versus a reversal stock. Both can make money, but one has a superior setup over the other, which is FedEx. All right, so here we have FedEx closed at 220. September the 22nd, up $1.17 for Friday over here. And let's take a look at the 222 calls. Okay, one of the things I like about these is you could see there was good open interest and good trading. And I mean, not a lot of trading, but the spreads are really good. And you know what? It's really trading well, FedEx, because you know what? The stock is bullish. The one thing about FedEx is it tends to move very well this type of the year anyways. Sometime, during this type close towards December anyways. But the pattern, everything, there's an alignment and everything. One thing about FedEx, unlike Apple, I mean, FedEx is an alignment stock, okay? Apple's more of a reversal play. But anyways, I really like FedEx. This is something this is like a caterpillar, something you hold and make good, easy money, and this is something you hold for a bit. That's why we're going to use the October 20 calls for a directional move. And of course, FedEx can make a pretty good, sizable move. And again, I prefer using these. I mean, you could use the 220s if you wanted. The 230s are too far out, but they're doing pretty good. The open interest there, but they're too far out. Can they make money? Sure, they could. If you want to use these, they could. But what I'm going to reference on the confirmation, what I'm going to get into, I want to get into the 220, the 222 and a halves, which are going to cost more. Which are going to, the cost will be more. It will be. I average could cost 320, 330, something like that. We'll see. It could be even more. It really depends on when they want to confirm FedEx, okay? Because FedEx could take if they take a little longer, great. But you can't assume anything. If we can confirm the right way, you want to take action and hold the stock because it can move. So let's go take a look at Netflix. Netflix here. And as you can see, Netflix closed at 187.35, and the October 20 options. Well, these are the wrong options. All right, so here's Netflix closed at 187.35, and here's the October 29 options. So we're going to look at the 190s, and like I said, these are trading well. Look at a lot of open interest. There was a lot of trading in these. Okay, these were the ones I was in, but I exited these now completely, and I'm going to look into enter 190s because the 190 area is the spot right now. If we get the right power, Netflix can pop. That's my honest opinion. But we need that power in that 190, in between that 190 to 191.5 area. The one thing I know for sure is if we get that volume pop at 190, you want to jump into the Netflix. There's just no thinking about it because there's a good odds they're going to pop that into that 194 to 198 area. And then make a new pattern, I believe, is what I think is going to happen. But it could even do better. So, we take it as it goes for Netflix. So there you have it. All right, people, welcome to Power Target Trades, the place where I post a lot of great detailed plans. Something, people, I made a lot of great plans. Caterpillar, well, it was last Friday. Solid gains, held its gains. It was just a super trade. Okay, very easy to hold. And Google L was a very quick day trade. It was more of a day trade. But let me tell you that it made over 150% in that same day. And even if you just held it, it ended up closing. And I have that video. I'm going to post it in here for you to see. It closed up 100% in its value from the entry from our entry, and it was easy to enter if you were prepared. Honestly, it was very, and if you followed it and you were looking on your screen yourself, you would have seen the option price. That's what I'm trying to tell people. You have to study, follow. If you're not paying attention to what's going on, you're not going to see it for yourself. And that's why all these videos have all the right information. And I suggest people always check out my creative playlist, study that. There's a lot of great information there. Trust me on that. Okay, study it, and then you're gonna have the confidence to take the plans, because these plans I make, they're great plans. I'm gonna show you an easy way to subscribe. You can do that manually. Thanks for listening. Let's see what I say. All right, people. Now that we just finished watching that great detailed video, don't forget to look at my banner. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you check out my creative playlist. Make sure you study before taking action on Power Target Trades. Every plan that I make has great detailed instructions. And I put my heart and soul in it because I want my subscribers and followers to make great money in the markets. But you have to study, people. Now let me show you a way to subscribe. Let's see a picture of me around here in a circle format. Simply click on it and it's going to give you an easy way to subscribe. Don't forget, people, at the end of the video to like the video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like